Peace and love. How are you? It's wonderful to be back again. I haven't been on my channel in a bit, but I wanted to do a divine feminine reading because it's been a long time since I've done one. The main reason for this channel was to focus in on the divine feminine energy, and we still do, but I wanted to do a reading dedicated to it solely. So let's see. Give me a moment. I have my heart tea. I've been working on I'm healing my throat chakra. I'm officially on spring break and I wasn't feeling my best. And so 3 days into spring break, I can finally say that I'm feeling better now. My throat is feeling much better. All right, so let's see. So we'll be using the Dream Ravens deck, the New Orleans Oracle deck by Fatima Mbouch or Mbouch. And then my trusty crystal cards. All right, let's see. I'm going to spray my space here with some of the Fortuna oil. Let me spray. Sending you positive vibrations and good luck into the week. And whenever you come across this video, my readings are timeless. So anytime you come across them, it's time to read. It's time to watch them. All right, there are messages there for you. All right, let's see here. And then we'll use some of my heart guide just to anoint my hands. And then anoint the decks mainly. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have for us today for divine feminine energy as we work on our healing, as we work on our heart spaces, moving forward with power, moving forward with our truth? As we look at the state of the world that we're in right now, quick message. My coworker recently sent me a week ago, an article from the New York Times, and it was talking about the current administration, which I do not, it does not resonate with me and my energy. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. But with the new administration and getting rid of some of the DEI and all the things happening in our country, in the federal websites, words that have been scrubbed from the federal websites, words that they want to remove from certain positions and certain ideas. And of course, they had black there. This one it didn't have all the words in there. It had disabilities in there as well. But one of the words they had there, which I think should be interesting, mainly alarming, is women. Okay? And so they're removing anything that has to do with DEI, which is going to be people of color. Okay? It's going to be people with disabilities, people who have been marginalized and locked out of workforces, but also women. Okay? Women are also being erased at this time. So the accomplishments, meaning the accomplishments. And so we want to honor the divine feminine energy. We want to honor the power of the woman, the visible power and the hidden power. We want to honor the female ancestors who birthed us, okay, who held us in their bellies. We want to honor that energy because we would not be here without that vessel, okay? And so on this particular channel and in my world, the divine feminine energy reigns supreme. It's a powerful energy, all right? It can be visible, it can be hidden, but the power is there nonetheless. Divine masculine energy in balance, both of those energies are the creation of life. I honor both of them here. But I feel like a lot of times the divine feminine energy is overlooked and it's misconstrued and it's seen in a way that's entirely opposite of what it truly means to walk in power, being a woman. To the point, now that people deny the energy, people fear the energy, people diminish the energy, and that's where we are right now. So let's kind of see what Spirit has in store for us as we look into the weeks ahead, the month ahead. All right, so let's get one of these just to see where our focus should be. Thank you again for being here with me. Who are these readings for? They're for divine feminine energy. Can men, masculine energies watch these readings? Yes. All right? Because we all have masculine and feminine in us. We all embody both of those energies. Okay? So let's see. Where should our focus be as we head into the weeks, as we head into the months, to the year? Where should our hearts be? Where should our minds be? Where should our healing be? What should we be focused on when it comes to our healing? Thank you, Spirit. It's been a while since I've been here. Be gracious with me. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors, for your protection, for your guidance, for your strength, for your courage. Thank you, Most High, for the gift of life. Mother, Father, creative energy, thank you. Spirit, thank you for the higher knowledge. What energy should we focus on as we head into the weeks? Looking at the world around us, realizing that we are of the world, but we also have a powerful spiritual world, an inner world. That's where we operate from, okay? That's where we operate from, that spiritual inner world. Spirit is saying that we are experiencing conflict, okay? It can be in our spiritual life, right? The spiritual life is not without conflict. It can be in our physical surroundings, but it also can be in the world at large. So that is happening, and we don't want to deny that. We don't want to deny that those things are happening. How can we work within those energies, Spirit? Thank you. So recognizing first and foremost that you are a healer. And so when you have been called to be a healer, in whatever way that means for you, healing could be different for many different people. It could be just simply speaking to people in a kind manner, sharing a smile, sharing a hug, sharing a gift, sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom, all right? Sharing encouragement. Whatever comes naturally to you, whatever comes out of your mouth, whatever is in your heart is your gift. And your gift brings about healing in whatever way that is. Do you have to read cards to be a healer? No. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you do, there's the capacity to utilize your gift in its healing frequencies, no matter where you are, okay, where you're working at. If you're at McDonald's, the healing can flow through you, okay? If you're working at fast food, if you're working at a grocery store, retail, anything, any place that you are, the healing work finds you and the healing work flows through you, okay? We're not all here to do this particular type of work. If we were all here to do this type of work, it would be false. So you have to do what you've been guided to do, and you have to do what you've been called to do. If you don't do what you've been called to do, it becomes dangerous. If you try to fit yourself into something that you haven't been called to do, or you try to manipulate something your way, that's when it becomes dangerous. But Spirit is acknowledging that you are a healer, and Spirit is saying that you need to understand that. And so the words that flow out of your mouth, that energy, that frequency, that vibration, you have the power to heal others in whatever way that's meant for you. You're a teacher, okay? Teaching in front of the classroom, no. You're a teacher in the school of world, the world school, the school of life. Every day you walk out the door, you're a teacher in whatever way that means for you, in whatever career path you have. Is it a career path? No, it's just the essence of who you are. Okay, it doesn't have to, you're not clocking in as a 9 to 5 to be a healer and a teacher. The healer and the teacher is the essence of who you are. It's the energy that you embody. It's Monday through Sunday, day and night. Okay? We don't want to confuse the worldly occupation with the spiritual one. The worldly occupation is what we've chosen to do in this world. Prayerfully, our spiritual gifts can be activated, activated in that space. But these particular gifts, you wake up with them. You've been given them, they've been given to you by Spirit, Okay? You came here as a part of your blueprint. Let's look on the bottom. Healthy boundaries. And so in your life, personal life, making sure that you are cultivating powerful, healthy, peaceful, loving connections and relationships with those around you. Making sure that your work environments, your home environments, have that energy so that you can utilize and understand your healing capacity, all right? And so that you can heal yourself. The healer is constantly healing themselves. If anybody tells you that they're a healer because they've healed themselves completely, they're lying, okay? That's ego talking, and that person is out of line because the healer is constantly in a state of healing themselves. I'm sipping on this tea because I'm in the process of healing my throat chakra. My work requires that I speak not only in my physical work, where I go Monday through Friday, but in my spiritual work. And so I honor my throat. When it tells me that it needs a break, I take that seriously. All right. Otherwise, it's really going to be in pain. And so, you get those physical symptoms you can't ignore. But the thing about physical symptoms is there's spiritual symptoms as well. If your body is hurting, that's a spiritual symptom. If your mind is feeling foggy, if your head is hurting, that's a spiritual symptom. And so when we start to work in tandem with the physical nature and the inward nature, we start to understand our physical bodies more and our spiritual bodies more. We've been sent here on this plane in a physical body. All right, the physical body gives us clues into the inward spiritual journey, right? And so we have to pay attention to those things. Nurturing our home life, making sure that we are protecting ourselves. When we're thinking about the world at large and things happening politically, having those healthy boundaries, all right? If I tuned into everything the administration was doing, I might as well put myself in a box and turn off the lights. But in my world, and in your world, because you're here with me, life is still vibrant. Life is still to be lived, to be loved. It's still powerful. Because the individuals who operate on a demonic energetic level, which is low level, okay, low level energy, they vibrate at low frequency, okay? They don't determine how rich my spiritual life is going to be. And the key to a vibrant outer life is having an understanding of the richness of your spiritual being, your spiritual life. They're not coming into my spiritual space. They're not coming into my spiritual life with that demonic energy. I don't resonate with them. They don't represent me or my ideas or my ideals. They don't represent my Most High, the creative energy, the Mother Father. They have no idea what those energies mean. So why would I allow them to occupy my time and my space in my head, I mean? Do you want to be aware of what's going on? Yes, because we're healers and teachers. But those healthy boundaries are a must, okay? Thank you if you're still here with me. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have for us? The divine feminine energy, sending love and energy to my ancestors, my female ancestors, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. I honor you here on this channel with these readings. All right. My girls are out here too, my cats, so you might hear them. Let's get 3 cards. What energies are we working with? Thank you, Spirit. This is one of my favorite decks. I love bird energy. If you've been here long enough, you know that. But I also love the colors, the vibrancy of this deck. Simplistic too. All right, so let's see what we have. So the 5 of Swords. All right, so making sure that we are clearing our spaces, clearing our minds, clearing our environments, all right, of anything that's negative. So the 5 of Swords, negative self-talk, right? But dealing with manipulations, people that could be around you, environments, we can be dangerous to ourselves. So we're healing from that. How are we dangerous to ourselves? How we speak, how we say things, how we honor ourselves, how we show up. Are we showing up in our true capacity? Are we honoring our truth? Are we being truthful in how we approach life, how we step out the door, or are we operating in falseness? Right now, the world is operating in falseness. Okay, maybe it's always been, right? But even in the falseness, you have to be the truth. It's always space for the truth bringer in every situation where there's a Five of Swords. Sometimes the depiction of Five of Swords just shows the two people walking away and the one person there, the victor. And it's always this idea that it's a negative connotation with that. And in some cases, it can be. But if you stand and hold on to your truth, some people are going to walk away, right? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? In my mind, it's a good thing. So the Five of Swords is not necessarily a negative card. It's who you are within that card. Are you walking away from your truth or are you standing in it? Sometimes somebody's truth is too powerful for other people to handle. And so you end up being the victor. They walk away, but hopefully they're walking away to their own healing. They walk away defeated. That's on them. Are you going to sit in ego? That's the problem, right? If you stand in your truth, but you are too arrogant to be humble and kind when it comes to your healing and healing others, then something's not right. So the Five of Swords brings the energy of truth, but it can also bring the energy of arrogance. And so what space are you operating in with the Five of Swords? Friends, sitting in situations that aren't for you, in jobs that are not for you, in relationships that are not for you, that's arrogance too, okay? Or it's an insecurity. No matter what, it's dealing with a lower vibrational energy, right? Sometimes it takes courage and power to move and operate in your truth. Lovers, are you loving yourself first and foremost? Are you loving the vessel that you arrived here in all its imperfections? Are you loving your mind and the ideas that you come up with? How do you love it? You honor it, okay? You speak the ideas, you share them with others. If you keep them inward, are you honoring those ideas? Are you honoring your mind? If you have things to share with others, if you have messages to share, if you can teach others how to do something and you're not doing it, then you're not honoring the gift. Okay. It's a box that's unlocked. But the interesting thing is you have the key. You refuse to open the box when you have the key. That's a little arrogant too. I don't know. Maybe arrogance isn't necessarily the right word. Maybe just insecure. Could be a lot of things with that one. We'll have to explore that one a little bit more. I guess what I'm saying is if you have messages to share that can help others and you're not doing it, then I don't know. You're leaving yourself out in the cold. You're leaving others out in the cold, but you're leaving yourself out in the cold as well. Loving relationships, loving partnerships, masculine and feminine energy coming into balance here with the Lover's card. Loving the inward energy as well as the outward. That's the masculine and feminine energy. Honoring the inward energy. And I think that's where we are right now because, you know, the idea women are rising, and women are rising. Women have always been rising. All right, but there's strength in being quiet too. There's strength in being still. There's strength in having an inward journey, an inward power. That's when you sneak up on people, when it's inward. Because they never know that you're operating in the spirit of a healer and a teacher at any time. Okay? It doesn't have to be broadcasted. I'm a healer. I'm a teacher. You don't live your life like that. You allow the essence and the lightness, the light body energy to greet people. That's how they meet you. Energetically, they meet you. They don't have to meet you necessarily with your words right off the bat. They meet you energetically. Will everybody resonate? No. That's why we have this healthy boundaries here. Six of Pentacles goes along with the Lover's card. Reciprocal energy, reciprocity, giving and taking and equal, loving yourself. And as you love yourself, you love others. Being in loving partnerships where not only one person is contributing, but you both are bringing something to the table. You both are bringing your love of spirit to the table, and how you talk to each other and how you treat each other. All right, if I'm loving my ancestors, I'm speaking to them in a loving manner, but I'm also speaking to myself in a loving manner. Because if I'm speaking to myself in a hateful manner, I'm not acknowledging my gifts, I'm acknowledging my capacity as a healer, then I have put them in a box. I'm not acknowledging them. I'm not allowing that energy to flow because I'm the direct connection. They are in the spirit realm, but I'm here in the physical realm. And so I have to honor them by using my voice to exalt, but to bring that energy up, right? And so all connections, all relationships should be reciprocal. Do you all give in the same way? Do you all give the same type of gift or the same type of, energy? No, because we all are different. But if you leave something feeling depleted and drained, if you walk away from a person feeling like, they have no idea who you are, even scarier, if you're in a relationship with the person and you don't remember who you are, if you're confused all the time, if they're telling you stuff and you're like, what's going on? Or if you feel like you have power in a certain way and they diminish that, or next thing you know, you don't remember that you have that power, or that you don't even remember what you were good at, or your gifts, your talents, things are being belittled. All of a sudden, you start to take your little gifts, you take your talents, you wrap them in a cloth, and you put them in that box that I talked about earlier. You close it, and then you take the key, you lock it, and then you hold on to the key. The key is the hope, right? If you're in any connections, any type of relationships where you're confused about your inward nature, then something's not right. Something's not right, okay? All loving relationships, the true lovers, the true Six of Pentacles, should provide you with clarity. Do you know everything the other person is up to or doing? No, we're not here to know everything like that. Should you know yourself? Yes. The clarity comes from within. It's who you are. If we spend more time knowing our truth, then other things will vibrate properly around us. Okay? This is a true clarity. A lot of times in life, and I would even say with spiritual readers, they spend a lot of time worrying about somebody else's truth. It's not about somebody else's truth, this person, that person. It's about your truth and who you are. That's the foundation. Who cares what they're doing? Who cares what they said? They said this. They said that. They're doing this. They're doing that. Why have I allowed them to be in my inner world? Why have I allowed them to monopolize my, you know what I'm saying? That's the fallacy of it. On the bottom, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is an interesting energy too, because sometimes it can be jarring. Things coming at us out the blue, people saying things that we have to be like, wait a minute, maybe we're this Knight of Swords energy, where we're rushing out, saying things, doing things, living, recklessly. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But the Knight of Swords energy needs to be tempered. It's a beautiful energy because the Knight of Swords does operate in the truth. Sometimes this Knight of Swords, the truth that they bring is not necessarily the truth that other people want to hear. That's what I found about the Knight of Swords energy. Messages that are just like, oh. But even still, we can't live without this energy, right? But it has to be tempered. If this is you, temper your energy. Queen of Swords. Rest in truth, rest in power. Going within. All the queens have the potential to go within unless they're operating on the negative side of the queen. It's an inward energy. Eight of Swords. Moving out of situations where we feel trapped by others, but mainly moving out of situations where we feel trapped by ourselves and our minds. What can you control? You can't control a lot of things, but you can control your mind to some degree. To some degree. Am I going to feel sadness? Am I going to feel hurt and pain? Yes. Is it important to feel those things? Yes, it is. That's a part of the healing. There's this idea that what you think is what you, if you think negative thoughts, then you're going to, that's all you're going to receive. That's not necessarily true. If you stay in that energy and you don't see the light, if you never utilize that key and open that box up to receive those gifts and to share those gifts, then yes. But if you're actively working spiritually towards your spiritual purpose, you're working towards that healing, your spirit guides understand that. The Most High energies, they understand that, all right?